Hey guys, so today we are talking about They Wait in the Woods by S.M. Savan. And it's not a thick book, but holy cow does it pack a story. So it's only 176 pages, so not a, not a thick book by any means. S.N. Savan is from Finland. And the story actually takes place on Lake Tahoe, I think. Near Tahoe. The Lewis family cabin near Tahoe. But yeah, so it starts off, the main character is Bonnie, and it kicks off with her being in the morgue of the hospital. She's with her friend Erick Lewis, and Erick and her are there to identify the body of Erick's brother Brandon, who was found dead at the cabin, and at the family's cabin in Tahoe, near Tahoe, and basically what the detective tells them is that three bodies were found. Now, Erick knows that Lewis was going up to the cabin. He went up there with his three best friends, and friends that were mutual friends of Erick and Bonnie, and they recovered his brother's body, Brandon, and then his two of his other friends recovered two of his other friends' bodies, and the fourth friend, Mac, is missing. And his actual name is Mitchell, but they call him Mac because of his last name is like McEvan, or I don't know. They call him Mac for so long that that I forgot what his name was. When was the last time you saw him or heard from him? When I helped my brother pack. Mitchell McAllister. Okay. Yeah, but they always call him Mac. And so they decide they're gonna go. The detectives are like, yeah, well, he's wanted for the murder of these three, and they're like, what are you talking about? There's no way Mac could possibly have killed them. And the detective's like, well, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out what happened. Four college kids go out to a cabin, get drunk, probably did some other illicit drugs. Three are dead, one's missing, probably the killer. You know, probably going crazy on the drugs or whatever. But Erick and Bonnie are just like, that's not the case because, well, first of all, Mac is a vegetarian. He gets choked up when he kills a bug for criminy sakes. So, like, probably not a killer. And as far as I knew, there were no, like, illicit drugs. A lot of drinkings and a lot of junk food. That's what they expected of their brother and of his brother and his friends. And realizing that the police aren't going to look any further than that, they're just going to find Mac and arrest him, and they're like, if these three are shredded up like this, what state is Mac in? You know, so they are like, okay, we're gonna go up there, and they realize it's a crime scene and they can't necessarily go into the crime scene itself. But they decide that they're gonna go as close to the crime scene as they can, and then spread out from there and find things that maybe the police have missed. They have a very simple plan. Go up there, look around for maybe an hour or two, and if after the end of 2 hours max they don't find anything, then we're heading right back home and we'll get home in time for morning classes. No big deal. You know, then from there we'll let the police do what the police gotta do. But their main concern is trying to find their friend and make sure he's okay. And so they go up to the cabin and they find a lot more than what they had bargained for. There's something in the woods that's not supposed to be in the woods. And so much so that one of the first things that they encounter when they get there is an entire herd of deer that seem to stop and look right at them. Like, not caught in the headlights type of look, like looking at them like, dude, run, you know? And then they skirt off, and Erick and Bonnie are like, let's hope that's the most exciting thing that happens tonight. And of course it's not. The things in the woods, I won't give away what it is, but if you are the kind of person that likes to read about shifters, such as, you know, like werewolves or were-leopards or were-lions or whatever, this has shifters in there in the book. So the creatures you're looking for are really wild kind of creatures, but they have a sentience of being able to communicate with each other and argue with each other and debate with each other. And some of the times when Bonnie's watching them, that is exactly what seems to be happening. Is you know, one of the creatures will start to act and another creature will be like, hang on, just give it a minute. You know, and then they go back and forth, but they're like not talking English, of course, because they're in their animal form. So the two of them are like communicating in these grunts and growls and snarls and whatever that like Bonnie and Erick as humans can't understand, but they can tell that they're doing some kind of weird communication. And the idea for them is, okay, well, we figured out what's going on. How do we get away from this? How do we escape? How do we get back to civilization? And so Bonnie is kind of torn between, I want to get back to civilization, but I'm not. But then on the other hand, she doesn't want to leave without Mac or Erick, because she remembers the whole reason we're here is to find Mac, you know. And the chaos and the absolute terror that ensues in this book, like I said, it's not a thick book. I got it through it in like 2 hours, where it actually took me a day to get through. I could have gotten through it in 2 hours, but I kept getting interrupted by my chickens hosting a rebellion, and laundry, and neighbors, and wife, and laundry. Apparently my chickens don't think they're getting enough tomatoes, so gotta rectify that, which I'm gonna go take care of that after this video. But rest assured, the chickens are, well, they're eating better than I am, okay? So don't worry about the chickens. Yeah, it's a quick read. So if you want a book that you can get through quickly, for instance, if you're doing a readathon where you're trying to do a book in a day, this would be a good option. Like I said, it has shifters in it. And what's really cool about it, what I like about it, is that it has a satisfying enough ending. And it has a satisfying enough ending that if the writer, if S.M. Sevan decided, I'm not going to write any more in this world, you would be totally fine with that. It would not be upsetting that, okay, you wrote this book and you're not going to read any more in this world and with these characters, you're not going to do anything more with this. You would be fine with it. However, it also ends in a way that does leave it open that if if she did write another one in this world, that it would be not outside of the realm of possibility. Like, yeah, of course she wrote another one. It ended well enough that she could bleed into another story. But like I said, it ends satisfyingly enough that if she doesn't, you're fine with that. So there's a lot in here for a short of a book, but there's just so much that I can't say without giving it away. But I also like that Bonnie and Erick are not, it's not just Bonnie and Erick alone in the woods. Like, there's other things in the woods, and they're in an area where there's a national park or whatever, you know, so there are rangers nearby. So she does have interactions with the rangers and what's going on with them, and what they're dealing with, because they have their own issues. They're dealing with a communication. The lines seem to be the phone lines and the cell phone towers and the radio lines don't seem to be working quite as well as they used to. So the rangers are dealing with that issue, and then you've got the police, of course. I will spoil one thing: they do not get back. They don't spend 2 hours in the woods and then head back. That's just not going to happen with strange creatures hunting them down. But they're out there long enough that the police detective comes out the next day to do some more investigating, and finds Bonnie, because she's gotten separated from everybody. And so he's just like, okay, you know this is an ongoing investigation. Why are you here? And so she's got to deal with, along with trying to find her friend who went missing during this adventure with his buddies, she's also dealing with reuniting with other friends that she's, like I said, she and Erick get separated. And so she's now not only looking for Mac, now she's looking for Erick. And then she's got this detective that's like, hey, I think you're in trespassing and getting involved in a case you shouldn't be getting involved with. You're tampering with evidence. That's not good. And the rangers are like, I don't know what's going on. She got attacked. We were trying to help her. What's going on? Why shouldn't she be here? Like, it's August. Lots of people are coming out for one last camping or cabin extravaganza before, the winter sets in. So you've got her interacting with the rangers, and you've got her interacting with a detective. You've got her looking for Erick. You've got her looking for Mac, and trying to figure out everything that's going on and all this other stuff. And it's a fast-paced adventure, which, with such a short book, like I said, less than 200 pages, it has to be a little bit more fast-paced. But they do give you room to breathe. There's times when, like, she gets injured and she's got this time to, okay, I've got a space, I've got this time to sit and, patch myself up or patch up anybody else who's getting hurt. And they still have the presence of mind to joke around when they can, even when things seem really dire. There's a point where one of the people get injured, and Bonnie is trying to sterilize the wound, and she does it with the only thing she has, which is some alcohol. And the guy that she's helping is like, what the heck was that? And she's like, 80 proof? And he's like, okay, well, for future reference, I usually take it by mouth. I usually drink it. And she's like, very funny, you're hurt, let me help you. So they do have some banter, and the banter doesn't seem out of place. And that's one of the things I get annoyed with the thrillers and the horror movies and the stories, is when the banter seems a little out of place. like they're having too good of a time for someone who's being hunted down by a mass killer or something, or a scary creature or something. And so what I love about the banter here is that it is organic and it does seem natural. It's the kind of banter that you would have when you're in a serious situation and you're trying to use humor to kind of cut the tension, just to excuse me. Some people use humor as a coping mechanism when they're scared or when they're seriously stressed. I'm definitely one of those people. And I like that the people in the characters in the story, they use humor that way as a coping mechanism and not a, oh, well, it's all a fictional story, so we can just be funny and lighthearted, nothing serious. They are very aware of the seriousness of the situation, where they're hiding in cabins and they're hiding in caves and they're hiding in this place or that place, or they're running through the woods or on a boat or wherever they're at. They are never in a place where they can just easily and casually joke around. They're always in a, okay, we have a moment to rest, but we can't rest completely because we are still in danger. But what's our next? But we do have a moment to say, okay, what is our next move? What's the plan? Where do we go from here? And there's times when they're like, is this it? Do we give up? And there's other times when it's like, no, we gotta keep fighting. You know, they have those moments of, this is it, and then suddenly they're spurred on by, let's try something else. And they get this like random idea of, wait, what if? And they'll try something. And I love that they are in this survival mode of, even when it feels like they want to give up, they're like, okay, yeah, we should give up, but you know what, I'm not ready yet. We've got to find a way. We got to keep trying, you know. At least then, if we keep trying, then at least we don't have to, we can say, we can die knowing that we did everything we could. But like I've said in previous videos, horror is not the top of my genre of things that I like to read, but this one I really did enjoy more than I have a lot of others. I'm not sure what I would compare it to. I wouldn't, like, if I was going to compare it to something, I don't know. It's definitely movie worthy. This is another one that is like, hey, Hollywood, pay attention. There's, you know, spooky season is upon us. Grab a spooky book, turn it into a movie. The authors are more than willing to sell you the movie rights for like $10 million, you know. But yeah, this was another one that would be a great movie to watch, and you would just be sitting there, you know, with your snacks and right on the edge of your seats, you know. So yeah, I would definitely recommend this one to people who like shifter stories or scary stories. If that's your vibe, then definitely I would recommend this one. The links to the book will be in the description below, as per usual. And I will see you. This one is, I think, going out on a Wednesday, so Saturday. My niece has finally gotten her copy of this, and we're buddy reading this, so this is probably the next one I'm going to be reading. So yeah. I'm trying to think what my schedule looked like. Yes, this is a Wednesday book, so this will be a Saturday book. And then all that's left for August is In Beds of Flowers and Speak the Ocean. But yeah, I've got to start reading this one next because my niece and I are buddy reading it. But yeah, They Wait in the Woods by S.M. Savan. Links in the description. Go get a copy. It's a good read. So, oh, I thought I saw something on the back. I did not. I did not see what I thought. I did see something on the back. It was not what I thought it was. But anyway, that's all I got for you guys this time. I will see you Saturday, I guess. Until then, bye.